So you are welcome to this class, and great to have you all here. So today we're going to look into what you call the loc and the iloc. And please, I want you to just follow through, work with me in the process, and so that you can really understand it properly. I hope my volume is loud enough for you all to hear. All right. So I'm going to make it quite easier for you all to understand. And please, after the video, just click on like if you like the teachings on what I'm going to do today. So without much ado, let us just continue. So let me share my screen. Like I said, we're going to look at loc and iloc. So I'm going to share my screen with you. So we are good to go. So now, the first thing is this, please just try to open your Jupyter notebook. And once you launch your Jupyter notebook, so you're going to go to new and then click on Python 3 so that you open a new notebook. All right, so that is good. So you can see that in this new notebook, we have the Jupyter notebook. You see that it is untitled. It is called Untitled 1. So I want you to click on it, and then you're going to write loc and iloc in pandas. So loc and and iloc. Okay, in pandas, or using loc and iloc. Okay, so now the first thing we have to do, now you click on rename. So, and that will be affected. So you can see that it has been affected now. So what we are treating today is loc and iloc in pandas. So the first thing we're going to do is that first we want to import all the libraries that we need. Actually, we need our pandas, okay? So what you're going to do is this, you just write your import pandas as PD. So this is pandas, you have imported pandas and you're giving it an alias name, and then that is PD. So you can call it anything, doesn't really matter. But somehow there is, we call it the traditional or the standard method, okay? You just write your PD. So then the next one we're going to do is that we're going to import our NumPy, because I will use NumPy to create some of my, I'll create some NumPy arrays, okay? So I will say import NumPy as NP. Okay, so now that we have done this, so the next thing you're going to do is that you're going to run this this cell, okay? So but what I do normally is that to avoid some troubles, I try to make sure that I run, once I write anything, I just run first, okay? Because sometimes you're going to make some spelling errors. You're going to see it, like some people, they write pandas in capital letter, and so once you run, you just see some errors, and so it's good after you write your code, just try to run to see if there's any error, instead of you after you have written everything, then you just run your code. So that doesn't really work fine. So if you run this, now everything works out fine. So what we're going to do is that we're going to create our own data ourselves, okay? And then you now create your data frame. And afterwards, then before we start implementing the loc and the iloc concept. So please just try to follow me, and I will try not to be fast so that you can do along with me, and you'll see how to do it. It's quite clear and straightforward. So the first thing we're going to do is that we're going to create an array, all right? And so what we're going to do is this, we're going to create NumPy array. So let me say, for example, my underscore array, let me call it my underscore array, okay? Is equal to np dot array, all right? Then you open a bracket and you close it. So, but now what I want to do here is that I want to create 3 different lists, okay, inside this array. So the first one is this. It's gonna be, I'm gonna create three. I'm gonna put 3 elements in each of the list. So the first list is gonna be let me say it's gonna be let me say sunny. Want to look at the weather, okay? Let's assume it's gonna be sunny, and then we're also gonna look at the temperature. So let's say it's gonna be let's say the temperature is 40 degrees. All right. And then we're also going to look at the humidity. Let's say humidity is 45 degrees Celsius. So I'm working with Celsius, okay? And then after creating this, we're going to create the second list inside this array. All right. So we're going to say the second one, what you can just do is that you can just copy this if you want to, so that I don't keep on writing. So I'm going to put it there as a second one. So here, instead of sunny, I'm going to say maybe the weather is just a bit cloudy. All right. So we can say it is cloudy, O-U-D-Y, and the temperature, because this line is going to, this second element in this list is going to represent the temperature, and the other one is going to represent the humidity. So let me say it is cloudy, and the temperature is let me say the temperature is just 30, and then the humidity is about, let me say 60. So now we've just created 2 lists now inside this array, okay? So now what you're gonna do is that let's just do more so that you understand. So you can just, like I said, you can just copy and paste it inside. All right, so you paste that inside. So let's change this one to, it's gonna shower, let me say shower, okay? All right, and let's say the temperature is 25 and 24 or 25, sorry. And then the humidity, let's say it's gonna be 48. All right, so that's, we've created 3 now. Let's create another one. Let's say here is also gonna be sunny, and the temperature, let's say the temperature is 32 degrees Celsius, and the humidity is 38. All right, so, and how many have we done? 1, 2, 3, 4. Then let's create another one. Let's say, let's just create about 5. I think that will be enough. Or then I just copy and paste. All right, so, and let's say it's also, the weather is also going to be cloudy, you know? So L-O-U-D-Y, and let's say that the temperature is actually going to be, let's say it's going to be 28, and the humidity is going to be, so the humidity is going to be 32. All right, so now if you look at it carefully, you see that we have 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 lists inside this array. So it's like you have lists in an array. So, but now let me tell you, because what I'm going to do here is that so that you understand some of the errors, you know, when you are working, so that, you know, sometimes people just, you know, teach you and they don't, you know, you don't really see the errors and some of the common mistakes that people make. So what is going to happen is that I'm just going to run this for your consumption. Okay, if I run this now, look at what's going to happen. Now you see that it says an error. I guess some of you already know why this error is coming up. All right, but for those people who are not really familiar with why the error is coming up, it's just this. Now I like always to work with errors so that people understand what is going on. You say array takes from 1 to 2 positions argument, but 5 we are given. Okay, so the essence is this. You see, we have a list. We have different lists, okay? But now all these supposed to be a list inside a list. So you have to put in your square bracket at the beginning and then your square bracket at the end. All right. So now, because understanding how all these error comes in is very, very important in understanding Python very well. So now, if you run it again now you see that there is no error anymore. So please take note of that, and please watch my video on how to handle list, how to handle dictionary and tuple. So now if you now let me write my array. All right. So there are two ways you can do this. You can just write my array, or you can use print my array. So let's try both of them. My array, right? So if you just if you run it, so you see that you're going to have your arrays. Okay. But now the problem is this. It is good like this, but you cannot really tell much. You know, it's not really what I would say. You can't really if you want to put it in a tabular form. But now it's just an array. All right. It's a numpy array. So, but what we really want to do is that we want to put it in the form of a frame, you know, and a frame, when you talk about form of a frame, you're talking about form of columns and rows. All right. So the other thing you can also do is this. If you say print my array, you know, and you can say print my array. All right. So if you run this also, you see that you're going to get the same thing. So you see that you have a list inside. You have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So, and all of them, they represent the different rows. So this one is your row, the first row. This is the second row. This is the third row. This is the fourth row. And this is the fifth row. So just like when we created the list inside the array. So you now have, they represent, each of them will represent their own rows. Okay. And so now what we're going to do is this. After looking at this structure carefully, you see that what we want to arrive at is not really, we've not really gotten there now. So we are going to make sure that we're able to convert this into a data frame. So now you just ask a question. Come on, how are you going to convert? How are you going to bring this into a data frame? You know what Pandas is going to tell you? Pandas will say, hey, yeah, I have something. I have a method that I can use, you know, to bring it into a data frame. I can bring any array into a data frame. Just tell me what to do. I have the method. Okay. So what we're going to do now is this. We're going to bring this into a tabular structure, you know, a data frame structure. So pandas based, I'm there. So now you see that we've already imported pandas. And so we're going to work with that now. So after we've converted everything to a form of a data frame, so then we'll start working with iloc and ilocs. Okay. So, so what we're going to do is this. So we're going to say PD, all right, dot, data. I'm still going to make an error here. I want to show you something, data frame. And I guess some of you already know what is going on. So, and I bring my underscore array. All right. So now if I run this, I know you're going to say, okay, I've already seen the error. It's not a problem, but I just want you to understand what is going on. Now you see that my array is correct. Fine. So data frame, pd.data frame. So now let me run it. Oh, now it shows that there's an error. Fine. So if you look at it, it said the modus pandas has no attribute data frame. The reason is this, I purposely did that. No, but sometimes whether you purposely did it or not, it's not the issue. It's for you to understand the errors that you have and how to really then work around your errors. That's what actually matters when you're dealing with when you are programming. So having errors is not an issue. You just need to know how to work around those errors. Okay. So actually the issue here is just that I use a small f, like I told you. I purposely did it so that you see what goes on, especially for beginners. And sometimes even for expert, they just make those kind of common mistakes. So I remove the F and I put it in capital letter. So if I run this line of code, you see now it is now in form of a frame. All right. So what has been done here is this. I was just able to run the code and it is now in form of frame. So you can see that in this form of frame, you see that we have our 0, 1, 2, and here is 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. So by default, Pandas was able to use the method DataFrame, all right, to create a frame for us. And in this frame, we have the rows and the columns. But by default, the rows and the columns here, they are just index based. So the first one is index 0, 1, 2, and 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, the rows. So, but there's something I want you to understand. For example, now, you know, we said this data is going to be about weather forecast, or weather based data set, so to say. So we're just creating our own. So what you're going to do is this. If you put in your cursor here, all right, you can put your cursor inside the square, inside the brackets, okay? And you now click on your shift and your tab. All right, so if you click on your shift and your tab, you're going to see some of the signatures that are needed, okay, in Pandas DataFrame. So what you can insert into the brackets, all right, what are possible to insert there. So the first one is this: you have your data, all right, and the data is known. But here we already have our data, which is my array, all right. And the other one you can also insert is your index and your columns, all right. And you see your D type and your copy. So what are the things that are important for us here? The first one is our data, and the second one is our index, and the third one is our columns. All right. The reason we need the index and the column is because that we want to set our index and also want to give our columns a name so that we can represent our data set or our data set perfectly. So now, so that means that since this one is our data, you can also say data is equal to my array. It is fine, but you can also leave it like this. It doesn't really matter. So you see, I'll do both of them so that you understand. So I put in comma there. All right. So now I want to get my index. Remember, so I will say my index, all right, is equal to. So what are the things I want to put it in on my index? I want to put in the days of the week. All right. So let's say this one is going to be Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. So since I have more than one element, so I'm going to put it in a list. So I'm going to say here is Monday. All right. And the other one is going to be Tuesday. Okay. And the other one is going to be Wednesday. All right. Then the other one is going to be Thursday. And the last one is going to be Friday. All right. So what I normally do is this. After doing this, I'm going to run and see if everything is affected. All right. So if you run it again, let's see if everything is affected, and let's see what's going to happen. So now that's cool. So that means you see now that we have changed the index that was initially here before to be Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. All right. So now we're going to deal with the columns. So if we want to deal with the columns, so this one is for the index. So we're going to also write columns, because you saw when we clicked on, don't forget, when we clicked on shift and tab, you see that we have index and we have columns. So please look at the spelling of columns. It is with X. So don't forget that. So now you write your columns, columns, okay? So, and it's equal to, so what we're going to pass into the columns now, we have into the list, okay? The first one is going to be the weather, okay? A-T-H-E-R-O. And the second one is going to be what do you call the temperature, EE. So I'm just going to abbreviate temperature. I'm going to call it TMP. All right. All right. And the last one is going to be humidity. Yeah. Humidity. All right. So now I'm going to run this, and then you're going to see what is going to happen here, and you will see how this the columns are also affected. So if I run it, so now you see that you have the weather, the temperature, and the humidity. So we've been able to create our data frame, but now what is left is this. I want to assign everything here that I've created into a variable, and that variable definitely is going to now be a data frame. So I'll call it the data. Let me just call it data. You can call it anything that you want. So if I run this now, you see that it is now stored in this data variable. All right. So if I now run the data, so let me run the data. Okay. So you now have everything again. So that means everything is now in the data. So it depends on, you can call it anything. It doesn't matter. So it depends on, I can call it DF, my data frame. I can call it data. I can call it anything. So, but to make it easier for us, all right, or to just make it, let me just call it DF, all right? And here will now be DF. So once I run this, all right, and I run it again, so I have the same thing. So, but there's something that I actually want to do here. So I've been able to create I now know the days of the week here, the columns and the things that I need. So the next thing I'm going to do here is this. I want my index, all right? So have a heading so that I know that these are days of the week, okay? So I'll just call it day. So what I do is this, index has what you call an attribute, or and so you can, that is called name, and so you can use that. You can assign a name to that. So you will say df dot index, all right, dot name, okay, then it's equal to, so I want to call it day. All right. So now if you write this, sorry, I wanted to write dot there. I don't know how come I'm writing something different. Okay. All right. So if you run this, let's see what's going to happen. Oh, something is also missing. So because of the spelling of my index, so you can see that I spelled it wrongly. So index is supposed to be INDEX. All right. So now you now have day there. All right. So now let's run our DF again first. So if you run your DF, you can see that now your index has a name now. So it's not just something just anonymous, it has something so that you can really see what you're doing. All right. So that's fine. So, but I'll tell you other ways to do it, especially if you want to set index, and I will come to that, or you can check some of my videos on that, how to set index. Okay. So now we're going to work with loc and iloc. So now we're here now, we're talking about loc and iloc. Loc, loc, and or versus iloc. Anyhow you call it, you can call it loc and iloc, anyone. Okay. All right. So what you're going to do with this is quite simple. So first we're going to work on loc. All right. So we're going to first of all work on loc. So look at loc carefully. You'll see that it has to do with location or label. Let me say label. Okay, it's label based. All right. So, and why the iloc is integer based. So it's quite easy for you to remember. You can take L as label and I as integer. All right. So if you take it like that, you don't have any issues. So now looking at the loc and the iloc, let's just take about 2 or 3 examples, and then I think you just have understanding about that. So now, if for example, I want to check maybe the temperature, okay, on Friday. So definitely you're going to be 28. So how am I going to do it with lock? So you're going to say my df, which is my data frame now, dot lock, all right? And then you bring in your role, which is your Friday, all right? And your column is your temperature. So in this case now, you see that our answer is going to be 25. So it's going to be 28, sorry. So now if you run this, let's run it. All right, so you see that it's 28. So you see that lock is actually label based. So you have that. So let's try two more. For example, you want to get on Wednesday and you want to look at the humidity on Wednesday. Okay, so you're gonna say df dot log, okay, and then you bring in your Wednesday. Please make sure your spellings are always correct, because else you're gonna start having some issues. So Wednesday, ADNESDAY, all right. And then you're going to have your, this one, the first one here stands for the rows, okay, and the second one is going to be for the column. So on Wednesday, we want to look at what is the humidity, all right. So, and if you do that and you run it, all right, so you see that the humidity is 48, and that's true. So that's the way locks work, okay? Lock works, okay? So there are many examples. So you can just try some yourself, just work on some yourself. For example, you want to look at the temperature, you want to look at the temperature on Tuesday, and also you want to look at the temperature on Monday. So just do that and let's see your answer. Thank you very much. Just do that, and I'm going to give you just about 20 seconds to do that. Then we'll come back again. Yes, I'm excited that you must have got your answer. So the temperature on Monday is 40 and the temperature on Tuesday is 30. So using the iloc, you can just do that. I can just copy this again. It's not a problem. So, no, let me copy this because I'm dealing with temperature now. This is quite okay. So I copy these, and so I want to look at the temperature on Monday. All right, so I change this to Monday. All right, so once I run that, and you see, I'm going to get 40. That's quite cool. So you have 40 and the other one. So you know how to do the other one. So let's look at a bit of slicing on this, okay? You can also implement slicing on lock, and it works for you perfectly. And you can also select more than you can also select more than one element, okay, from the dates, all right, or more than one date now. So you can also do that. But let's just look at slicing. So if you look at slicing in using iloc, sorry, using lock. So let's look at slicing. Using okay, in lock. All right. So I'm going to make it easier for you to understand. So again, let me bring my data frame again so that we can see it properly. All right. You know, sometimes when you code and you go up, when you go down, and so you just lose kind of, you cannot see the other one again. All right, but they are there. So now look at this is our data frame. So what we want to do is that we want to get the days from Monday to Thursday, okay? And let's work on that. So what you're going to do is that you're going to say df.log, all right? So you're going to get from Monday to Thursday, because it's labeled based. This is not index based. So it's going to say Monday, all right? And you're going to take it to, that's the slicing, all right? That means you're taking it to Thursday. All right. And then, so this is our row. okay, because we're taking from Monday to Thursday. So now the other one we want to take now, we want to take our temperature. Let's see what our temperature is going to look like during these days, okay? So comma, then you now put your temperature also in your quotation mark, TEMP. All right. So so now if I run this, you see that I've chosen from Monday to Thursday. All right. There's something I want you to understand here. The other ways to go about it. For example, because actually I'm choosing actually like one column, okay, one column. So it's going to come in like as though it's a series, because it's just one column. So the other way you can do this is that if I want to bring it out, maybe to look more again like a frame, I can just say to frame. That works fine. I love that, using that a lot. All right. So, and if I run it, all right. So let me put the close and open bracket there. So now it shows me it's not like to frame. Okay. So I guess this is quite interesting and this is quite clear. Please don't forget to click on our videos if you like our videos, and just subscribe also to our channel. So we got a lot of things to teach you. So, but before I come to iloc, I just want to take a break for 1 minute and let's come back again. Thank you. Okay. Yeah. Okay. So now we've done just some slicing on law. So now let's look at how we can. What about if we're just going to select, maybe we want to just select Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. Okay. And we want to see the temperature. So what we're going to do in that is quite easy also. You don't need to use these slicing per se. That means what you want to select the days now, you're going to put them inside a list. All right. So we're going to say df dot log. Okay. And then first you open them and close the bracket. All right. Everything. So what do you want to put on the list now for the rows? So you're going to put them inside. Okay. In a list inside this bracket, this block bracket. So you're going to have Monday, and you're going to have we want Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. So we're going to write Wednesday there, Wednesday, and then we're going to have Friday. All right. Friday. All right. So now you see that we've been able to choose Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. So are we going to work on, do we just want only the temperature column, or we want just everything? So in this case now let's say if you run this, what do you think is going to happen? If you just run it, you see it's going to show you everything because you have chosen Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. All right. You have chosen everything. So you didn't specify any of the columns that you want to choose. So if, for example, I want to choose just only the temperature to show, you see in this case now it's just showing. So we've been able to select specific days. Okay. So, but if I want just the column to show, maybe I want the temperature column to show, I'll just put the comma there because then I now need the temperature column. So I can put the temperature there. So if I run this, now you see that it's going to give me just only the temperature column and the days, all right, of the week that I opted for, which is Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. All right. So in the other way around, if now I want to bring it, I want to see it more or less in that kind of tabular form, that I love. You can also use DataFrame, and that works perfectly. All right. So now it's like now in a frame. All right. So you can see that you have your Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, and then you have your temperature. Okay. So now I guess you enjoyed it already. So now let's look at the iloc and then let's see how the iloc works. And we're going to take some examples on the iloc. So looking at the iloc now, we're going to look at the iloc. Okay. And we're going to see how it works perfectly. So first thing is that I want us to see our data frame again, our DF, so that we know what we're doing. All right, fine. So we're going to use, like this, this is the day, and here is index based now. Here is 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. So we're going to say DF, all right, dot iloc. then let's get iloc of 0, and you're going to see what will happen. If I get the iloc of 0, so it's going to show me, it's going to pick this, all right, and it's going to tell me that, hey, the weather is sunny and the temperature is 40 and the humidity is 45. All right, so you see that it picks the what do you call it? It picks the first one because index based. All right, so if we also want to take from index, we want to slice it maybe from index from 0 to 3. So you're going to have this because it's taken from index 0 to 3. So which is Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. All right, so it's taken from index 0 to 3. So in this case now, you see that it's in a data frame, and because you're selling it, it's taking your index 0 to 3. And also, if you intend to say, okay, I don't want, I just want index 1, 2, 3, you can also do that also if you don't want to take all the indexes, okay? So that's the way iloc works. Sorry, iloc works, okay? So you see that we've been able to like look into it. So now, if for example, what about if you want to select a particular column also, not just only the rows? So what you can do is this, df.iloc, right? So you place that, you let's say you want to select your we want to say at index of want to say at index of 0. I'm just thinking of what we can do here, whether we're going to say at index of 0 or yeah, index of 0, okay. And then we want to take maybe the temperature. So the temperature is going to be at index of 1 because here is 0 and this one is 1. So it's going to be at index of 1. So you're going to put the comma and then you put your 1 there and then you close the bracket. All right, the block bracket, close. Okay, so now if you run this, you see that because it's more or less like it was index base or integer base, okay? So, and you're going to get 40 because the role at row 0, all right, you know, we have the index of 0 is Monday, and then for the temperature, here is 0 and here is 1, all right? You know, if it is index based, start from 0, 1, 2. Then here is 0, 1, 2. So that is that. So what about if I want to, now let's look at our data frame again so that you see it properly. Okay, now I always try to bring it out because since I'm teaching and I want you to really follow it carefully. So what about if I want to say df dot, I just want to look at, I just want to get from what you call the index of 1 to the end. So there's a way you can also do that, log, okay? Then you can put, you're starting from 1, all right? And you slice, okay? Now you're slicing, you got it, from the index of 1. That is the first slicing, and then to the end, because you're not specifying any end, all right? Then you now put your comma, all right? This is really cool. And if, for example, this is for the row, sorry, look at it carefully. I'm taking from index of 1, I'm slicing, and because I'm not choosing any end, so I just put another column, so that's we now specify the the end. That means you're taking it from 1 to the end. So, and then for the column, I can also take it from what's called, I can say, okay, let me just take from index of 0, 1, 2. Let me say from index of 1 to the end. So you're going to see what is going to happen. I'll say, okay, index of 1, and then I'm going to slice. All right. And then what do I want to do? I want to take it to the end. Okay, fine. Then once I run that, you see that it works fine. Hooray, you know? So you see that actually I'm taking from the index of 1, which is from Tuesday, which is index of 1 to the end. And then I'm taking also from temperature to the end. So you can see that there are ways to manipulate this. So if you want to really learn more from us, please subscribe, and I'm going to be uploading a lot of videos on this channel. Please do your favor to just click the button and subscribe to our channel. And this is Dreammaker Hub, and we're there to help you so that you can build your knowledge in Python and some other programming language and other data analytics tools. So thank you very much. I'm glad to share this with you, and I hope you really enjoy it. So thank you.